Hiya, my name's Henny. Welcome back if you're a Hinster, and if you're new, welcome too. If you enjoy my content, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And if you'd like a reading with me, check out the details in the description below. Happy Monday Moon Day. Alrighty, so this is a quick guide as part of my Moon Watch series on what the new moons and the full moons are. This way, I won't need to define these moons every time I make a new moon or a full moon video. You just need to come here. So the first thing to say, I guess, is that these, two moon phases are the most common phases of the moon that astrologers will observe and incorporate in their readings. But in fact, there are a few other phases of the moon. However, the new and the full moons get the limelight in astrology. A lot of astrologers tend to describe the new moon, which officially occurs around the middle of the calendar month, as a somewhat more positive event. But on the other hand, a lot of astrologers tend to describe the full moon, which officially occurs around the end of the calendar month, as a somewhat more negative event. For me, in my experience, they can both be positive or negative experiences, but I will say that the new moons do feel as if they lean a bit more to the positive, and the full moons lean a bit more to the negative. I will be making a more in-depth video on the moon exclusively in the near future, but here I'll mention just briefly that the moon is most commonly associated with things like emotional reflection, reactivity, and that which is sort of subversive, more subversive, or wild. The new moon then tends to be associated with, well, you guessed it, newness. And so things like new intentions or new beginnings also get associated with it. On the other hand, the full moon tends to be associated with culminations, with letting go, and with volatility. However, I would add that both of these moon phases are points of intensity. So the new moon can send you down a brand new spiral that doesn't work out later, while the full moon, it can sort of simply be a moment of realization through inward reflection, or it can be a big feeling of satisfaction. And so again, the new moon doesn't have to be positive and the full moon doesn't have to be negative. And as I often say on my channel, the specific date of a new moon or a full moon isn't necessarily when you'll feel the lunar energies. It could be as early as 2 weeks before or as late as 2 weeks after, though in my experience it's usually a few days before. Also, it's important to see what's going on in your birth chart to see if the new or the full moon is sort of kissing, as I like to say, or aspecting any of your natal planets, which would therefore mean that you individually will be more affected by the moon at that time than others who don't have the moon aspecting anything significant in their charts. Another thing to note is that the moon is the fastest growing of the planets. Fastest growing? that's Jupiter. Fastest moving of the planets in astrology. For example, the new moon we had in Sagittarius on December 14th, 2020, and the full moon we had in Cancer in December 30th, 2020. One way to understand these two moon phases is kind of like to think of a cup. And if that cup is totally empty, that's your new moon. And the moon is also invisible during this phase, by the way, like literally in the sky. So it's like, here's my empty cup, light and clean and ready to receive as well, to receive something new. It's kind of like the Ace of Cups card in the Tarot, or ready to begin a new cycle. If the cup is completely full of liquid, then that's your full moon. And the moon, also called a luminary, by the way, is incredibly bright and hard to miss during this phase in the sky, literally again. So this full moon phase is like, here's my fullest freight cup, heavy, saturated, and it might just spill over, and I don't know what's in there. It could be nice, cool, refreshing liquid. It could be gold treasure that comes out the cup, or it could be like boiling hot water, poison. I don't know what's going to come out, but it's going to come out. And it might just spill over for the good, the bad, or the ugly. Finally, you can technically go and see the new and full moons for yourself, astrologically speaking, free of charge by going to a website called planetwatcher.com, and all you need to do is look for the symbol that looks like a moon. It's like a moon crescent. It's pretty simple to find that one. And then look for the sun. The sun is like a circle with a dot in the middle. Find those two, and if they're both on top of each other, so exactly the same part of the chart that you will see, that's a new moon. And if they are exactly opposite each other in the chart, so one, for example, is in Capricorn 15 degrees and one is in Cancer 15 degrees, that is the full moon. So the opposition is the full moon, but then the exact conjunction or being on the same spot is the new moon. And it's as simple as that. So I hope you enjoyed this quick moon watch video. Let us know in the comments if you have any other questions about the new moon, full moon. Yeah, so stay tuned. I love you all very much. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday moon day. Mwah.